All right, so is 0.4% daily cryptocurrency passive income, is it too good to be true, or how long will it last? This is part 2 of this video. I've already done in part 1. I made this video and then I come back and made this video here where I showed basically since the life of the contract, 0.01443 at the time per 100 tokens. That's how much Ethereum was earned, and it came out to a 0.40% return. I will tell you, it's going up since then. We're actually at a point, in fact, that was 0.01443. We're currently at 0.01491. Now, I haven't done it since this morning, and it wasn't that high this morning, but this morning we were at, I want to say 0.44%. So we're probably at 0.44 or 0.45% right now. That's crazy. That is crazy. 0.5% return. So I got a comment, though. This is where this is coming from. One of the comments on my video came from Joe here. Joe said, "It's the place you speak of, but very centralized. Don't know what that means." I'm assuming he had the thought that wasn't complete, but he said, "I'd rather look outside the box at all the other variables." I would agree with that. Somehow this needs to be, somehow this needs to be maintained. I'm assuming he's talking about Powh3d. It's not a self-maintaining system that cares for itself. The answer to this is I don't know how much he knows about the Powh3d community, because I mean this is an assumption, I'm assuming. And the reason I say that is because although I would say he's currently correct, I'm going to show you how this community is not even 4 or 5 months. Maybe it's not even. Maybe it's just over 4 months. It's not 5 months old yet. However, they are already quickly becoming self-maintaining. So the very first thing I care about is who's going to keep this going. All right. So let's look at this statement. We'll go statement by statement. So the very first thing I care about, who keeps this going and why do they? Well, who started it and who keeps it going is two different things. So he's trying to figure out how is this possible, first of all. It's important to understand that the devs who started this, and you can find them in Discord, by the way. Come over here to Discord. These are the devs. Justo does a lot of the web design, as his name says, or her name, whoever it is. Manzo is the lead developer, kind of the brain sort of that created this brainchild. Inventor is the main Solidity developer. But there's other people, like Crypto McPump here does a little bit of developing. Artiste Cracker here does a little bit of developing as well in different areas. In fact, I think he's going to come up with one of the new community things here in a moment. And I'll bring this here in a minute too. I want to show you this. Who's going to keep it going? Well, this is perfect. Someone has set this up. I have no idea who did this. I went and looked at this video. It was in Discord, but it basically is a whole different website, not set up by the Powh3d crew at all. Powh Gold is the website, but it allows you to use your MetaMask, your Trezor, or your Ledger hardware wallets to interact directly with the blockchain. Okay, so that's important, because that's what I think Joe doesn't understand. So the very first, who keeps it going? Well, the community ultimately is going to keep it going. The community are taking more of an active role every single day. It's a smart contract. So again, Joe asked this question, and people always ask this stuff, and I'm assuming he doesn't know what a smart contract is. He could go look back at my video, I think 2 videos back, where there's an entire discussion on what a blockchain and a smart contract is. No one needs to keep a smart contract running. It is going to run indefinitely. The only thing that has to happen is people have to want to interact with it. That's the only thing that has to happen. And the community is taking more of an active role in interacting with the smart contract already. So the very first thing I care about, who keeps it going and why do they do it? Well, why do they do it? The original devs, if you go look back, they have not made, like they capped themselves. They could only buy 1 ETH in the beginning of Powh3d tokens. So if you go look at a decentralization chart, it is the most decentralized. The devs have a whole goal of trying to basically see if this could work. And this has went huge for them. Now they do create some of the games, and they create a 1% or 2% of the money that the games earn. But that's a micro percentage. Of course, you know, maybe that's part of their initiative to create more games. But again, Powh3d was a bit of an experiment that worked. At the end of the day, they didn't get anything outside of those initial tokens. If you look at the smart contract, and I can show you in a minute, A gentleman, in fact, right here, I'll show you. If you come to this webpage, the Crypt, he doesn't have a ton of videos up here, but he has a video. This guy understands Solidity programming, and he goes through the entire Powh3d contract and looks at the math inside the contract and the whole 9 yards. And if you go watch his video where he breaks that down on his channel, it's about 50 minutes long. But if you watch that video, he goes through the entire contract and explains kind of the math, some of the math behind it. But primarily, he looks for holes and mistakes in the contract, and he doesn't find any. In his personal opinion, it was a solid contract. But he really breaks it down and explains what every step of the contract is. But again, before you can go here, Joe or anyone else who's thinking like him, you have to understand what a smart contract is. So the question is, how great is the incentive? Again, this is a capitalistic viewpoint, which I agree with. I think it's important to understand there are some people like Inventor who has said over and over again, for him it's not about the money. In fact, he has been, there's a lot of people that Inventor created the game FOMO up here. And, many people have suggested that, he probably got paid 100 grand more or more to design FOMO. I've heard him say in Discord that he absolutely did not get paid that. I think he said, they've given him a couple of Ethereum, which is not even $1,000. If they've given him 3 Ethereum, it's not even $1,500. But again, there's a lot of pride in their work. But let's keep going. Then take that versus the real world. The devs die. Okay. The devs arrested. Okay. Well, these are both extreme. That's like any, CEO of a company or whatever. That's possible. However, the community has pretty much taken over and it's becoming more of a decentralized community over and over again. And I'll discuss that. Well, I'll go ahead and discuss it now. For example, I'll discuss it in a minute when I talk about the future of Powh3d. But the devs could stop right now, and the Powh3d community could continue going. Now, in order for that to actually happen, I think we need to give it another few months till there's other community members creating their own individual dApps that lay on top of Powh3d. But there's already work in that. I told you earlier, I showed you Artis in the Discord. He's already said he's working on a dApp of his own using the dApp development kit that they have for developers to be able to create their own dApps that lie over the Powh3d ecosystem. So he says, what if they're made to close the web page by law? The host server gets fried. Again, this clearly shows that Joe just doesn't know what a smart contract is. He really needs to go back to my videos over here. Let's see. I'll show you the video. If you come to my channel, click on videos. This video right here. What is a smart contract? What is a blockchain? If you watch that video, then this question becomes practically null and void altogether. And if you understand that the website has nothing to do with the smart contract and the website does not even need to exist for the smart contract. In fact, you can watch this video on the Crypt, and I'll try to put this video down below. He shows you directly how to deal with the Powh3d smart contract, and he does it kind of side by side and shows you without you even having to use the website interface at all. It doesn't even need to be there. The website interface is just designed to make it user-friendly, less techy. But he shows you how you can do it totally without the website interface. Okay, so what actually makes this go round and round? What's the foundation? Is this a 14-year-old kid bored at home this summer? I don't know why that matters. What actually makes it go round and round? Again, it's the community. It's the development. What's the foundation? Well, the foundation is a smart contract, Powh3d proof of weekends that is already there. I think the question that he's trying to get at, which I don't think he knows enough to ask of Powh3d right now. So the question is, what causes Powh3d to keep having volume? And I'll get to that here in a moment. But it's basically more games, more use cases, but they're already active in development. There's an entire list being worked on right now, and that's what causes it to create more volume. But again, I don't think that Joe knows enough about what a smart contract is in the crypto space to get it. I think he just sees a website and he sees a return, and he's not understanding that there's actually something there behind it. Let's see. That's what I know. Anything else means squat. Yeah, I've addressed all that. I think there's a lot of belief that any particular time you're going to go to the page and it's going to be there. Again, that's not true. We don't need the page to be there. That's why this video exists. In fact, I have this video on my hard drive. This video exists as a tutorial to show you how you can interact directly with the contract. You do not need at all in any way, shape, or form the website. Again, I can't stress that enough. It's a smart contract. You do not need the website. The website is simply there. It's simply there as an easy user interface, UI, user interface. I've seen way too many dApp web pages just disappear. Okay, this is statement, this question, this sentence here, Joe, gives me more pause than anything else in here. dApps are built on smart contracts, so it doesn't matter if the web pages disappear. All that matters is there a community of people that want to interact with the dApp. That's what matters more than anything else. So when I see this, I'm thinking, but that statement actually doesn't make any sense. Leaving them dead and who cares how much they made or how fun it was. Well, if it was a lot of fun, there's going to be a community. dApp web pages only go down when the project fails and it couldn't create people's interest. And that's how dApp web pages go down. The community falls and then the web pages go down. So, the only thing that can happen in P3D, and it hasn't happened yet, is someone comes out with a better mousetrap. And there's, I get spammers all the time who I flag towards YouTube all the time for other projects. There's a project called Zephyr out there and different ones. And all they're created by people who attempted to clone Proof of Weak Hands 3D, but they don't have the community, they don't have the innovation. And what do I mean by innovation? Well, let's take a look at this. So, first of all, let's start with FOMO. FOMO right here is one of the games. There's two games here. There's FOMO, FOMO Soon and FOMO Long. And the difference is how they're set up. But they're two games that feed into the P3D ecosystem, meaning a small percentage of the money earned by the game goes to the P3D ecosystem, go back to the holders. There's more to come. There's P3DX that's been talked about in the Discord. They're basically looking to create an exchange. There's one of the community members working on this. There's a Sirius token. They've not given us any. The Sirius token has been discussed since P3D came out. My first question was, how can it be more serious than P3D? But the Sirius token, they're looking for they're creating a token, and it's already under development, but it's a token that has a real world use case. So right from the beginning, they were talking about FOMO and a Sirius token, and they said Powh3d would, by the way, this is FOMO. FOMO long, FOMO short, soon. So they said that Powh3d, Powh3d would have FOMO, the game, would come out before the Sirius token. That's what they said from the very beginning. They're already talking. They sent out an announcement in the Discord yesterday. Here's the Discord. I highly recommend you join the Discord. They sent out an announcement in the Discord that said they're working on a player versus player game, another game. And here's how games work, by the way. Most games are going to flop. That is statistically how it works in every scenario. Most games don't catch on. However, one game can send this baby to the moon. One fun, exciting game, which FOMO broke all sorts of records when it came out. So the right game could be a game changer, pun intended. So there's several games on the docket, is my understanding. 2 blockchain games already active: FOMO 3D long, FOMO 3D soon. There's talks of a FOMO medium coming out, which is going to be another version of the FOMO game. It's just FOMO long is very long. Round 1 is still running, and it's been a couple weeks. FOMO short is very short. They last, a couple of hours typically for a round, maybe a little more. So they're talking about doing a medium. That may be something in between there. And Ethereum price inevitably rising is what one of my commenters talked about. If you're bullish on Ethereum, then that's just going to bode well for the community overall, and people's going to make really far more income than they're currently earning. And that's if you're bullish on Ethereum, since P3D is written on is an ERC20 token written on the Ethereum blockchain. Again, I think most of the questions that Joe brought up, these are great concerns, and these are very logical questions. However, once you understand blockchain technology and smart contracts, most of these don't make sense, and it defaults to the community. The community is in place. The one thing that's not on this list is the dev kit. So there's a development, P3D dApp. I hope I say this right. Developer kit. I'm not a developer, but this is already in the works. In fact, I actually think this has already been released because Artis is talking about using this. I suspect the first couple of dApps that come out will be very rudimentary, very rough, very small, utility type dApps that may or may not get a lot of use case out of them. But eventually you're looking at the whole idea is having a community of people creating their own dApps off the P3D ecosystem. And again, it's the community that makes this go long term. But these are great questions, and it's still too soon to tell. I mean, that's the risk here. It's still too soon to tell. I mean, this token's only been out this year, so we're not even 7 months into this yet. I don't believe so. You know, someone else, not Joe, but someone else talked about hacking the contract. I would encourage you to go back and watch Crip's video where he talks about the contract. But at the same time, please note that there's $43 million roughly market cap in the contract. That's a pretty big bounty to attempt to hack it, $43 million. It doesn't mean that I guess it couldn't get hacked, but there's $43 million on the line right now that nobody's been able to get to. So that's at least worth taking note of. So that's my response to Joe here. Joe, I appreciate it. Listen, the best thing about doing YouTube videos are the comments, and you get to be able to see people's comments and respond to people's comments, and they make you think. I told Joe I was going to be putting out a video about him, and he became famous. He's going to become famous on this small channel. So Joe, I appreciate your questions. Hopefully this has been informative. Hopefully some of this has made sense to you. And if not, it's okay. I appreciate your question because you've asked a question and you can totally disagree with everything that I said. That's great. That's what makes us all different. However, I'm certain your questions, there are other people curious about the P3D community, and they're curious about, you know, what it stands for and what it's all about. And they may have already had these same questions. So it gives me a chance to answer questions on their behalf as well. So thank you so much for the question, and thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you. Please hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next videos. I continue to talk about the crypto space. I'm trying to pull out of the FOMO videos a little bit, but every single day it's what I'm looking at. So every single day I think about something else and I end up making another video. But I really want to talk about, you know, kind of some more stuff, what's going on. I mean, I've got my freaking crypto browser over here that's just literally killing it. You know, totally passive income here. I'm starting to advertise. I've been advertising for referrals. That's working really well. Some Bitcoin faucets, and you know, I'm going to be looking at other crypto investments in general. Although I will tell you, I'm primarily Bitcoin maximalist for sure, Ethereum maximalist, like those. I mean, the other stuff I'm watching it. I don't get into a lot of other newer programs. However, P3D, it's important to know the great thing about P3D, and one of the reasons that I kind of got into P3D so easily is because it really helps with that's a website for the thing about P3D is it really helps with let's see, it takes a lot of the risk out of investing when you're going to get 0.4 or 0.5% a day to either withdraw or to reinvest. I see people selling their tokens, and I can do an entire video on that, but the bottom line is I don't think it's a great idea to really ever sell your tokens unless you don't believe in the future of the project, because the amount of money that you lose versus what you can make in dividends, people always, and I don't want to go here. I disagree that you can lose more money, that you make more money by capitalizing on market token price as opposed to the dividends, especially when the dividends are this rich. And I'll say it fair. I disagree that it is always the case that you can make more money on the token price. So by selling high and then buying back in low. And that's because of the way the token is set up. So I absolutely disagree with that, but I'll cover that more in another video. See, there I go. Another proof of weekends 3D, another FOMO 3D, another 3D project video coming into works probably later today or tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.